Sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hold the cap or melt your bow. Don't need stealth when I own it now. I burn the flank till it clears for good. One man army like I knew I would. Don't chase me, I'm the flame and sting. Forrest Sherman, I'm the close range king.
Hey team, this is Ripper. You guys are doing fantastic today. Got a fun video with the Forrest Sherman. Yes, with the Forrest Sherman, actually, for me to see it out there in the ocean right now, if you haven't seen the news, the actual USS Forrest Sherman is actually in the Strait of, not the Strait, I forget, but basically it's off the coast of, I believe it's Yemen and north of Djibouti, and kind of in that small channel. And forgive me, I cannot think of the name of the channel right now. I don't want to say it's the Strait of Hormuz. I think that's the other strait, but it is out there, and I'll put up a graphic to show you where it's at. But it is operating right now with everything going on in the world. Obviously, it's a busy time with the war and everything going on right now, but this is kind of a dedication from the USS Forrest Sherman, playing the Sherman in the background here and the firepower that things provide. So let's do a video about it to salute the USS Forrest Sherman. But as always, before we begin, like, subscribe, button below. Appreciate all the supporters of the channel. If you see value in what we're doing in here, thanks for stopping by. Have a blast. Enjoy the game. Smash those buttons at the bottom, and we thank you for stopping by and enjoying the show. So what is the USS Forrest Sherman? Well, as we're showing the firepower, what this thing provides, as you can see, it's a really freaking amazing gunboat. Amount of firepower it provides, 1.1 second reloads for the full gun build we're doing right here. And unbreakable line is absolutely dominating, and the amount of firepower it brings to brings suppressing fire, just area denial is freaking horrendous. These reloads are amazing already, but the gimmick of it is the sap shells, which obviously you guys understand what sap is. Essentially, it doesn't start fires, but it's kind of the best of both worlds. It pins almost everything, and it allows you to do significant amount of damage, but you don't start fires. Now, you can see right here, 36 mil pin is amazing for what the shell type is. You get hydro, you get smoke, and that's basically the gimmick. The torpedo obviously are trash, but you never know when you can get those free hits. But you're pretty much seeing what the Forrest Sherman can actually do in this game. And while we're watching it just mow down hate right now, we'll read a couple things about the USS Forrest Sherman DDG-98. And man, what a salute to the ship. There's an actual ship out there right now fighting the battles right now, but this is a video dedicated to it, as we talked about earlier. USS Forrest Sherman is an Arleigh Burke-class Aegis cruiser, guided missile cruiser of the United States Navy, and is the second U.S. Navy to bear the second U.S. Navy ship to bear the name. She is part of Destroyer Squadron 2. She was ordered in 1998, March 6th, and was laid down in 7 August 2003, and launched in October 2nd of 2004. And a couple other basic aspects of this thing. Let's see here. What is it? Yeah, Forrest Sherman, named after Admiral Forrest Percival Sherman. Pretty amazing right here. And it is a interesting ship right now with the armament of one 5-inch gun and one 20mm gun, two 25mm Mark 38 guns, and this is the real one. Missiles, shoots a lot of missiles. So you can see this is more like a guided missile destroyer. It's got a couple torpedoes, and it can carry helicopters as well. So very powerful ship. This ship is more or less more of a supporting role ship, but you can see it's a kind of a gunboat in World of Warships, so pretty darn incredible. In the World of Warships, this thing is pretty much a great, I would say, supporter of other destroyers. It is not the greatest at capping. As you can see, the concealment is out to 6.5-ish, so you're not really getting that more of like stealthy, go in, take cap, kind of a hunt down destroyer kind of role. Its speed is kind of questionable as well. Maximum speed of, I think, is one of the slowest destroyers out there. But maximum speed, even with the flag, is 35-ish knots, so not the greatest for that, chasing down anybody for that regard. But what it can do, it makes up for, is the firepower of the guns. And you're going to see, we're going to shoot over 1,100 plus shells here, and we're just going to bring down the hate. And you can see with the area denial, it's really difficult for anybody to push into a Forrest Sherman, especially one that's in smoke. And you can see we're just going to continuously lay down suppressive fire and hate, and it's really powerful, strong, and amazing. And again, I think it really shines an Unbreakable line, not necessarily for the fact that it's not really going to cap as much if you play it like the way I'm playing it. What I'm really doing is just providing area denial so that my other ships can go in and cap. I'm kind of playing that more supportive role. And if I can cap, I will back into a cap. But really, this thing cannot really survive massive amounts of volley, tank, radar cruisers, whatnot, because it's slow, it's not maneuverable, it's big, it's pretty large and chunky, doesn't have any heals. It's got only 2 smokes the way I built for it. A full gun build only allows me to have 2 smokes, and it's got pretty much 5-kilometer hydro, which really isn't really much useful in today's World of Warships. Because not many people are pushing in that close. 5 kilometers like destroyer types, and hunting destroyers are too slow. I'm sorry, submarines are too slow anyways. The AA is actually deceiving. It's not that great or powerful. Even if you have defensive AA, I get nuked by carriers all the time in the Sherman. It's just that easy of a platform to hit. But like you're seeing in the background here, this is where the USS Forrest Sherman really does shine, and it just amazing work. The HE is actually surprisingly good. I mean, you notice here. The amount of HE shells, although they don't do much damage, but the amount of shells that hitting, you're going to see that the damage just ticks up so fast, and you start a lot of dang fires, and it's incredible. Moskva is electing to shoot at us now because he realizes that there is a problem at Bravo Cap, because this one Sherman is holding off every single person that's trying to make its way into it, and it's becoming a very annoying tactic. And again, I've always said, if you can surpass 1 million potential damage, and you can provide this amount of firepower and hate, you are classified as an annoying ship right there. See, Moscow's still firing us right now. Notice we're just doing the little shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake, throttling back and forth, and it's so slow. I think it throws off so many people because people don't realize how slow this ship really is. Starting another fire right there. Again, man, this thing really accelerates really poorly. It is not the fastest ship. I'm really rocking this thing back and forth with 8 to 10 knots. It's just that bad. And we're currently being radar right now by the Moskva, and he's backing up, so he's now backing out of radar range. And pretty much we have free reign of the just constant left-clicky mouse button on a ship and fire until we burn down to our heart's content. So you can see right here at Bravo Cap. So Alpha Cap is pretty much secure. I mean, 2 versus 1 Omami right there. Marceau can't do much. We're just going to sit here and hold and burn on the Mosk first, then take on the Montana, and see if we can clear a path for our other 3 ships to push into Bravo as well. And I like how the brawling battleships are actually pushing in for once and actually capping, so to help us out. And that's the best I can do. Notice we're down to 13,000 health. Notice that's why we need heals on this ship. But unfortunately, since we don't, we have to play a little more conservative and see if we can outlast the onslaught and just keep the gunfire going. Notice how we're just sending so much hate downrange, and it is a constant non-stop fire starter, I'm telling you. Pretty darn amazing. Yep. Moskva sitting still right there is not really providing too much versatility and usability, because you're just going to get mowed down to death. And Soviet cruisers just burn so easily and so long because of their damage con. It takes forever, and their heals take forever to come off a cooldown. So pretty much we're just going to mow this guy down. Even though he has 10k health, I mean, just look at the amount of firepower, and more fires started. We're up to 13 fires right now, and we take him down. Finally, our hard work pays off, and now we're going to work our way on the Montana. Rupert is pushing in, and we're just going to fire on Montana's bow right here and see if we can start some fires off of that. I mean, it is a great, like I said, fire start. If I can just put fires on every section of the ship, that will prove to be a very, very powerful aspect of this ship. And you can see, look at that, 1,100 damage just with the HE shells alone on superstructure. So I'm telling you, it's not about the shells are doing a lot of damage, just the amount of shells we're firing on this guy. And I'm surprised Sherman doesn't have a superior DPM that is comparable to the Smolin or Marceau. Surprisingly, the Marceau and Smolin actually out DPM this thing, and very much so in every regard. But man, oh man, does this thing... You got to kill this thing. I'm telling you, if you see a Sherman, you got to eliminate him off the battlefield right away, because there's just too much firepower and hate that it is leaving it unabated on the battlefield is definitely devastating. Man, I can't imagine living on a Navy vessel right now. I mean, I've been deployed. I've done a lot of sorties and flown everywhere. I've lived on an airplane a lot, and I guess you could say living on an airplane is a little bit comparable to living in a bunk on a destroyer or a battleship or whatever, because you're pretty much making a vessel your home that bears the American flag on it, and you kind of, have to hot bunk, and you got to live in confined spaces and so forth. And but the downside of living on a cruiser carrier is that you're not in a hotel, and normally whenever we get crew rests on flight orders, we're basically in hotels anyway. So I guess that's the different downside there. You're living in hotels rather than full-time on a carrier or destroyer. But man, oh man, these cramped quarters, I don't know how you do it, guys. I applaud my hats off to you guys in the Navy. Pretty darn amazing there. 249,000 damage. My gosh, we held the entire team to bay, top 2. We held that area down. Look how many shells we fired. 1,321 shells fired at 249,000 damage. That's why you got to eliminate a Sherman off the map. A powerful destroyer. All right, last video here. One of my favorite maps right here with the Alpha and Bravo caps in the center there, and it really shines and for you to work as a destroyer to see where you're supposed to go in this. A couple other things about the USS Sherman, named after Admiral Forrest Sherman, like we talked about, former Chief of Naval Operations. The ship is designed for multi-mission capabilities, including anti-air, anti-surface, and anti-submarine warfare. She carries the Aegis combat system, which basically is eye in the sky to look for incoming threats and kind of surveys the area. Tomahawk cruise missiles for long-range attacks, standard missiles, of course, and advanced sonar systems, making her a key player in both offensive and defensive operations. Based out of Norfolk, Virginia, the USS Sherman has supported global missions, including NATO deployments and maritime security operations. So, amazing, powerful ship. Does a plethora of things, and a salute and a shout out to the crew of the USS Forrest Sherman out there, as well as the rest of the entire armed forces out there. Continuing operations to support whatever our national security interests are. Of course, I'm still in the military, so we're doing amazing things as well. Just can't talk about it for security reasons. But, again, hats off to those sailors out there living on amongst these small vessels and small cramped quarters. But back to the game right here, we have a massive offensive push right here. This is exactly why I like Unbreakable Line. I love pushes like this. It almost reminds me of ranked and even clan battles, but now we're in more of a random-like kind of mode here where you're fighting against surface warfare ships. We have our Barbiano in the smoke right there. We're going to avoid him. We have SAP as well as he has SAP, so let's see if we can whose SAP ship can duke it out better. We're going to smoke up and double dip right here into the area, and watch the amount of firepower we can dish out on our HE firing salvos right here, because you're going to see that the ability to, even though we have SAP, the Forrest Sherman can really do a number with just HE only, because the amount of fire in HE you can spit out is incredibly powerful and useful, because you can stop advances like this. And you have what? 1, 2, 3 Pomerans pushing in unison right here. And we're going to see if we can hold off 3 Pomerans and the amount of firepower this thing can do. Let's put our limits to the test right here. All right, we're going to focus on the first one on the left flank. And we're going to see if we can take out this Pomeran Bravo. And notice we're just firing the back turrets only. Even just the back turrets can fire. And probably that's what the DPM cutoff is right there, because we only have single barrels, and sometimes we're, cutting off the front turret there. Probably limits a lot of our DPM. But anyways, it doesn't stop us from starting a lot of fires. And there's our first kill for the day. Takes out one of our guns, which is 33% down of our firepower. And man, oh man, do I wish I had a damage con right there. So now we got to get the front gun in action right here. Let's see if we can start another fire on the Pomeran, racking up a lot of firepower and hate. Notice again, if you see a Sherman, make sure you take it out immediately from the battlefield. Otherwise, you're going to endure this kind of level of damage constantly. All right, notice again, we don't have any heals, so we're down to 9,000 HP right now, so we got to conserve as much as we can. Looking around the battlefield, it looks like this Pomeran is going to be the next juicy target, so he is showing a lot of good broadside. Look, watch what the SAP can do to this broadside right here. It is just way too much firepower. Doing like 800 levels of damage right there every second is incredibly devastating and melting. My gosh, look at that. I think we're getting 1 second reloads here. There you go. Splash 2. He goes down 75,000. That's second Pomeran down. Now we got to kill this Pomeran right here. Let's see if we can take him down. Just aiming right at the superstructure there. 38 mil a pen. That is incredible. Ouch, we get taken out. Not after we take the third Pomeran out with our help of our teammates right there. Holy crap, there we stopped a Pomeran advance. And now we got to start another rush to see if we can get 36 mil pen on the SAP. Correction there. Let's see if we can start another fire on the Palmer. I'm sorry, the Colombo. See, these ranges are incredible. You can shoot out to 15.1 kilometer range, so very, very strong. You can have a nice standoff ability, which makes it very, very annoying to go up against. You can just have a rainbow shell of arcs just constantly landing on a superstructure of a ship and just melting this thing down. Can you imagine they start introducing missiles with the real Sherman the real life actually has? I mean, if they start introducing missiles, this game might be pretty much over, because now you're going to have to start introducing missiles to every ship. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think adding missiles to this artillery game would actually increase it? If you do that, I think you would have to increase the health pools. Otherwise, it's just going to be a missile fest. And you probably have to limit how many missiles you fire. I actually say make everything controllable, like secondaries manual, make guns manual, make the player literally do everything in the game, so this makes it like you are literally controlling every aspect of the game rather than AI and computers helping you out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Automation is replacing all our jobs, right, guys? Anyways, let's see here. We can take out another Palmer. He is pushing into us. We've started up to 6 fires right now. And look at the amount of firepower that, again, the HE is just doing alone. I mean, you don't have to just use SAP. I mean, the fire HE capability of this thing is incredible. Okay, he goes down from torpedoes. I think the other Palmer is doing a stalemate right there. We lose all Palmer. Oh, actually, he survived, actually. Now he goes down. There it is. So it was a good exchange right there. Now we got to take out the Vaizama. Vaizama is basically that other gimmicky experimental ship with that burst fire capability. I hate these cruisers right here, so every time I get a chance, I try to get these guys out immediately. All right, he goes down. All right, who's our next target? Another Palmer, another Palmer. My God, the Palmers are literally popping left and right out of everywhere, out of every rabbit hole here. It's like literally a cockroach. These guys won't die. That's why this game mode's so fun to me. All right, we're going to work on this Palmer, and then we'll have to work on the next one and get another fire going on him, and then we'll take out the Vermont. Actually, Vermont, let's see if we can start a fire on him. He's got some torpedoes coming in right at him. He might be going down. It's always good to have a nice constant flow of firepower going down range so you can do things like that and finish off a Vermont. All right, so next closest guy is the Palmer right over here. Nobody's killed that Barbiano off the east right there. Somebody take him out. My goodness. He's going to literally blast us to oblivion. Our Mecklenburg goes down. All right, let's see. Even angled, these sap shells are pretty amazing, horrendous. Look at that. Still doing damage. All right, we got one Palmer holding the middle. We got another Palmer flanking right here. So I'm trying to make sure that Barbiano is not getting a good angle on our buddies. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like... It feels like the sap shells are okay. I mean, it seems like it's doing just comparable damage like an HE shells would, but I'm starting fires with HE shells. See if we can take this guy and save him before he kills our guy. And can we kill him? Nice. We take out another Palmer. And all right, let's work on this other Palmer. And all right, we'll switch to... I believe we'll switch to HE in a bit here. No. Actually, why am I shooting sap on an angle target? But we're still doing damage for some reason. Maybe I'm thinking that I can melt this guy down with sap. Ooh, there's a Barbiano right there. He's almost dead. My God, let's switch target to him. He's almost dead, guys. All right, well, I guess we'll have to do it. Nobody's firing at him, apparently. Let's leave a unabated Barbiano to massacre us. He's only got 4K health left. And, yep, we can outgun a Barbiano. No big deal. All right, he's dead. All right, let's get back to the big bait here. Right here's Palmer, 24,000 health. We're switching to HE finally now. And this is where we start shining and shooting and blasting this superstructure with tons of HE shells. And hopefully we start another fire. We're up to 8 fires right now. Let's see if we can start another one. See, I'm telling you, the HE shells do just as much as damage as the sap shells for some reason. And we can start fires. So I find that the Sherman with the HE is pretty darn powerful. And there he goes down again. All right, there's another Palmer. My gosh, they're everywhere. These things just don't die. Oh, we're getting drifting, pushing action here with the Mecklenburg. He's probably helping us get into the fight as well. Maybe he'll draw fire. There's another fire starter right there. Dude, there's another fire starter right there. Yeah, for some reason I felt like I'm doing way more damage than the HE shells for some reason. Even though the sap shells are supposed to, on paper, do way more damage. Up to 228,000 damage, got 5 kills, and we are close. This is a very, very close match here. We only got 2 minutes left in the game. Good Lord, look at all that firepower. Shout out to the USS Sherman right there. Sherman is DDG-98. Way to go. Make sure you check your 6 out there. Be safe while you're deployed out there. Whoever's on the ship, if you're watching this, if anybody's watching this, just be safe out there. Hats off and prayers off to you guys. All right, so we got Colombo right now, and we got the Vermonts actually pushing in right here. Let's see if we can start. We started a fire on that last target we were firing at. Oh, wait, another Barbiano is moving in. Somebody's actually spotting him. Maybe it's this GK secondary or Hydra. That's right, the GK 6-kilometer Hydra. Let's see if we can help him out and kill this thing. Why is he undetected? Did his Hydra go down? Okay, here we go. Colombo is burning down. Let's see if we can take the cake right here. Come on, baby, help him die. And he goes down. Moving on to the next bomber. Oh, wait, nope. Barbiano is back invisible again. Thank God somebody's spotting him. Let's see if we can help and get this guy out. My goodness. Notice that the Barbiano does not have any heals, so what he starts is what he gets. So that's our ability to kill him right there. And let's see, we can blast this guy to oblivion. It's a close game, guys. If we can kill this guy and secure the win, look at that, 269,000 damage, 5 kills. All right, Vermont's still holding the middle cap. At least we have alpha cap, so that maybe help us tick up the points right there. And I think we are able to do that. We can kill this guy. My goodness. Oh, he's stopping the points because he's in the cap. We got to kill this guy, otherwise he's holding the cap. Amazing battleship play right here. Being able to delay the victory by just holding down the fort. Holding down the center and delaying the cap is helping his team out a lot. Okay, we only got 2 back turrets right here. Sap. Let's see if we can get maximum firepower damage. And he goes down. Finally, we go and we get the kill to secure the win. 6 kills, 301,000 damage. My gosh, we were rocking and rolling again. Great fire suppression support from the USS Forrest Sherman. Shout out to that crew out there as well in real life. But, man, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Look how many fires we started. 17 fire, 6 kills, 300,000 damage. And we actually capped #1 on the team, of course. And, man, oh man, can these things do a wallop. 1 million potential damage, classified annoying ship. But man, we were doing our job. 100,000 damage on the battleships right there and just making work of that center holding spot. As always, if you guys see value in the channel, smash those buttons. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate all the supporters. And if you see me out there, make sure you say hello. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.